This is going to be a fun one today. I'm starting to really dig into a whole group of companies in AI that I call the holodeck. In other words, there's over on X.com, I have a list of 600 companies who are making things for creative people, from text to video, text to picture, text to whatever, right? And today I have the founder of Game, who is building a consumer app, a really fun little app that people can use to do this stuff. Welcome to the show. Who are you?
My name is Brady Lewis. I have been in the tech world for almost my whole life. I started back in middle school, which was around 94 ish.
Yeah,
I'd have to
middle
do the
school for
math,
me
but
was 78.
okay. Yeah.
And I
I
got
know I'm
started
still
there
older
too.
than a lot of people in the game. So
I
I
started with
was
an
I
Apple
was at
II
least
with a
around.
tape drive.
Yeah. 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 I was coming up in the dial up era. Um, we were one of my family. I don't know how I convinced my mom, but we were one of the first few people, at least in our little town, that had access to the internet. And so I was obsessed with it immediately. And funnily enough, the website where I spent a lot of my time and actually started learning how to do HTML was this chat room. It's a little embarrassing to say, I was in middle school at the time, but the chat room was called Bianca's Smut Shack.
Oh boy.
And I guess,
Did
yeah,
your
I
mom
mean,
know
it
about this?
wasn't, yeah, I mean, it wasn't, despite the name, there wasn't smut to be seen, at least not that I was aware of.
Yeah.
It was really just a chat room. But back then, um, in your messages, like your responses, you could add HTML to it. And so I started learning how to do things, simple things like putting borders around my responses and stuff like that. And that kind of led into the desire to learn more. And so quickly, me and one of my friends who also was into tech and had internet access, we started building our own websites. And this was back in the day of GeoCities and all of those
Oh
things.
yeah.
And we,
That's way
I
back,
think we built some
man.
pretty cool stuff. Yeah, like we didn't know, we didn't have the skill or the knowledge of like infrastructure and all that stuff. We only knew how to do HTML basically.
Yeah.
So we had these ideas of like, we built this little dating website, but because we didn't know how to do anything uh, super technical, we were like, you have to send us a letter in the mail to give us your profile description, essentially, and then we would put it up there. And then we kind of did the same thing with like an auction sort of thing. Obviously, none of them took off, but it's
It's a little
very
hard to be
interesting.
scalable when you have to get a letter in the mail.
I know, but we just didn't know any better. But I'm extremely thankful of those early lessons because not only did it start my knowledge, it really cemented that desire and love of tech. So from there, through high school, we didn't even have computer classes really in high school when I was in there. In my senior year, for the first time, they offered a computer programming class, which I immediately signed up for and just absolutely fell in love with it. That they taught us C++, and we were doing super simple things like making stick figures move across the screen and stuff like that. But it was enough to let me know that that was what I wanted to do. So I went to Indiana University for computer science, and I did the typical stupid college kid stuff and went and joined a fraternity, and so it took me much longer than it should have to finish
much
college.
much beer was consumed.
Exactly, yeah. And at 18 years old, living on my own, and I had a class that it took me 40 minutes to walk to, and it was Midwest winter. I just didn't go to class. And that's not for you people out there listening. Don't take don't take my advice on that. Do go to class; it's worth it. But anyway, I eventually ended up finishing my degree and got my degree from Indiana in informatics with a minor in computer
Or
science.
go to school in
Uh,
Stanford where you don't have snow to walk through.
Dude, I'm 42, almost 43 now, so I've had 42 years of
You're
Midwest
perfect.
winters, and I think that I could do without them. I'm not one of those people that's like, I would miss it if I wasn't here. I'm ready to be done with the winters.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. You got to shovel this white stuff and make a path. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah, man.
so you're building this company now on top with all these AI. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing now.
Sure. So,
I love that
yeah,
in
I
middle
got
school, but
yeah,
nobody else
yeah,
cares.
yeah. A couple of years ago, when I first got wind of ChatGPT, and this was probably, I think, GPT 3 ish time. Um, I don't even remember how it landed on my screen, but I used it a couple times, and after 3 or 4 uses, I started to get hooked and see the potential of it for myself. And I was working on another blockchain project at the time, and I decided to play around with ChatGPT and integrated a little feature um, that would allow people to generate tweets for the blockchain token that I was working with, and that was my first introduction into developing with AI. And it soon became my complete focus. I just became obsessed with AI and just the phenomenal, infinite possibilities with it. Like it's so there's so many possibilities that it makes it hard to even think of one. Like when everything is at your disposal, it's hard to even come up with ideas. But then me and my business partner, and we saw the potential of it, and we also saw how scared everybody was of it, and how technically complex some of the stuff was. And it's completely understandable that people are intimidated by it and shy away from it.
Yeah.
Not to mention the
There's a
things
lot
like
of settings
everybody's
in
afraid to lose
Midjourney,
their
for
job.
instance, right? A lot of things
Yeah,
a lot of knobs to turn.
exactly. Not only that, but you have, I think that they're going away from this now, but you had to be in Discord to even use it. And it was just a lot of hoops to go through for something that already seemed very intimidating to most people. And so we decided that that was going to be our goal, was to make something that was not so complex and not so many barriers to get into it. So we started focusing on how to make AI accessible and easy and not scary for the average person. So we started developing game, and on top of trying to abstract away the complexities and difficulties that the average person wouldn't even know where to start with, we also didn't like the fact that you had to have a different app for each feature. You had to have an image generator app, you had to have a chatbot app, and you had to have image computer vision app. All these different things were very piecemeal. And
That's why we have multiple
so
monitors, right? You can have,
I know,
a
dude.
window
I've got
with Midjourney on it, and another one for ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or hell,
yeah,
you
you're so
open them
right,
all.
man.
Have like 15 windows open, but you need a lot of monitors.
I know.
Or get
I
a
know. I
Vision
could
Pro.
have.
That's why I got a Vision Pro. You can
I
have them
know,
all
dude.
running in the Vision Pro.
I've seen all your videos on that and everybody else's videos, and I can't wait to get one and try it out.
It's
You
really
still
cool,
love it?
but it's heavy. it's,
Oh, is it?
it's really
It
cool
gets
because you get
uncomfortable.
all as many monitors as you want around you. You can have Midjourney running on the wall over here and ChatGPT running on the window over here, and it's all cool, but it's heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
expensive, right? Most
I know.
people don't have
Yeah,
an extra 4 grand in their pocket to go to the Apple store with.
yeah, yeah. That's another one of those things that there's just so many possibilities that could be with it, and I highly expect that in the future some version of that is going to be the norm. I mean, it's just so cool, and so seems so convenient. Having not used it, I can't say
It's
with
not
any
just
experience, but
it's not just convenient. I mean, I love it. It's really cool to see AI art in it, right? So
oh yeah,
when you're seeing, like, you go to x.com, and I have a list of 3,000, 4,000 AI artists, and
Yeah.
you click on one of those pieces of art, you can make it as big as your wall, right? And
Yeah. I mean,
or put it on the ceiling or wherever, because you can move the monitors around, the virtual monitors around in it. It's really beautiful, and the Sony chips in front of your eyes are probably better than the TV you have, right? Or the monitor,
that's true.
way better than my
I, sup-
iMac monitor or the little monitor I'm looking at right now.
I suppose you could pin a piece of art that you like to one of your walls,
Oh
and it would
yeah,
be when you had glasses on,
there
it'd be
might be
like you
some
had the
AI
art.
art behind me right
Yeah,
now.
that's so cool, man.
Yeah,
I can't wait to try it.
it's a new world that we're going into. I mean, and you turn the dial and the AI art goes away, the room goes away, and now you're in Yosemite. It's like, whoa, this is cool.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't see how that can't be, something that becomes just the norm because
It will
it's
when
so
it
cool.
gets lightweight and gets cheaper, right? If it's a
Yeah,
$1,000 pair of glasses that are lightweight and thin and you can wear them all day long, uh, this is the future. It's just it's heavy, man. It's heavy. It's like,
uh,
version one products always suck. Remember, I mean, joking around about middle school, Apple II only had two apps and had a tape drive, and it only had
yeah,
16 kilobytes of RAM. It had you know,
yeah. I remember when we were first getting on the internet, it was like you could go to like Coca-Cola.com, you could go to NBC.com. There was only like a handful of established websites out there, and it's so crazy to think back on that now.
yeah,
I mean, there's millions created every day, but
yeah.
yeah, it's so weird when you live through the beginning of a technology and get to see it through, and it's super cool. I'm very thankful that I'm old enough to have lived through seeing the internet really take shape and become everywhere and ubiquitous with every job and everything else. I feel like that gives me you know a little benefit to have seen how the progress happened and understand, you know, a new technology that comes out now that people naysay or that, is slow to take off. Not that the internet was, but, you can understand that there's still incredible potential behind that technology.
Yeah.
And it's hard to imagine the world now without the internet.
What are you learning by building this new service where you're not the people building the models, right? You're not competing with Midjourney or Chat GPT or Anthropic or any of these big
Yeah.
companies that have $10 billion of investment kind of thing,
Yeah.
and 100,000 Nvidia cards building models. You're trying to build a service for consumers to hide all the complexity of all that and make it fun, right? What are you learning about this world of AI by doing this?
There's a lot of things, so many things that I've learned. So I worked at Salesforce as a technical architect and platform architect and manager of a team for about 8 years before I left about 2 years ago to start doing my own thing. And when I was at Salesforce, I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought I knew it all. I thought I was like the master of my domain. And as soon as I left there and started handling everything on my own, because I was in the marketing cloud at Salesforce, so I was dealing with these. I was the tech guy essentially for these huge companies like Ulta Beauty and Victoria's Secret and everything, and just thought, you know, I've got a handle on this. And then when I left and started actually handling the entire realm of, the full tech stack and everything with my new stuff, I was just blown away by how very narrow, my little niche at Salesforce was, even though I thought, I knew it all. But then you get into, handling infrastructure and deploying and all these other things, and the actual like coding part is such a small aspect of it, and one of the easier, at least for me since that's my background, one of the easier pieces of it. But like learning how to um, build servers and architect apps as to make them as scalable as possible, which is what another part of what we did. We built Game.ai, which is the app that we're talking about. That you go in the app store, that's what you're going to see. But when we built it in mind of it being like our base infrastructure. So now we are spinning off additional apps that take a fraction of the time to create because we've structured the syntax and integrated the data together to be able to use the power and the technology that we built with the base app to spin it off into, like, now we're going into some more blockchain things. We're working with a the base chain, which I don't know how into crypto you are, but that's Coinbase's
I have a list.
level two.
I have a list of 4,000 people on X.com, all in crypto and Web3 and
Yeah,
blockchain technologies. Just I have a separate list of decentralized AIs. I mean, it's crazy. There's a lot of
yeah,
activity going on.
yeah, very
A lot
cool.
of
So
people
yeah,
making
we're
money or thinking they're making money. I don't know.
yeah. So with this new our blockchain stuff, for instance, we're working with a token called Andy, which is on the base chain, and it's a meme coin, which it took me a while to really understand what a meme coin was. I was trying to understand, you know, how do you make utility out of this, and do
What
people
is a
even want
meme
utility?
coin since you brought it up?
Yeah, so it's basically a crypto token that's based on creativity, like literally memes. People make memes of the character. Most of the tokens have like a mascot kind of thing, and really it's about hype. If you can get influencers and people behind your token, um, that's really what seems to drive these things. Because again, utility's not at the forefront of the meme coin world. It's more like just for fun, and that I really struggle to understand that concept because I'm a business value minded person, and I'm like, okay, well, what's going to ever make these more valuable, kind of thing, if we're not building anything around them or anything like that. So that was kind of what led to us attempting that, to build some utility around this Andy meme coin. And so we have done things like build custom AI bots around the characters of these memes, and things like creating image generators that are trained to do things like create memes that are specific to the token. Um, and it's been pretty cool. I think that there's still, just like with AI, there's still a lot of people that are afraid of blockchain, and um, rightfully so. There's so many scams out there, so many scammers, which I
You can
just
read them all.
detest.
I got a list of them.
Yeah, man, it's
There's a lot of
so.
activity. It's hard to the crypto world. I was talking with entrepreneurs building a crypto based video game, and it's a whole different culture there. Like you said, they don't use their faces in most of their
I know.
the accounts. Right? There's a whole culture of it, and you have to sort of dig into the culture before you can really understand it. You know.
Can, yeah, and it seems like even if you feel like you have a grasp on it, like you said, people they're creating these coins anonymously, and there's, as of yet, we know things like SBF and these big name people that have been taken down for being scammy, but that's just a tiny fraction of the scams that really go on. Like, I feel like 99% of the tokens out there, especially in like the meme coin realm, are people just screwing people over. I mean, they're just putting coins up and getting people to buy into them, and then just pulling it out from underneath them. And it's just so heartbreaking. I just don't understand how people, can do that kind of thing, and just, they didn't earn that money. And so I think that
You're trying
the
to
whole
make sense of
conversation.
it for your customer and add some
Yeah,
utility, because there is some the blockchain does let you do things with it, right?
yeah, yeah. There are super cool things and business value things, like the fact that everything is recorded, and it's immutable on the chain. Uh, but those aren't in the conversation with meme coins.
No.
And that stuff's a lot less sexy to the average person. It's super cool to tech people like us. Um, but I think that, again, just like with AI, the super tech people know about AI and are comfortable with AI and are using AI, but the other 99.5% of people in the world aren't. And so I think that it's on us as the builders, whether it be AI or blockchain, to not only build products that average people want to use, but I think before that we have to, the burden of education falls on us. Like, we have to tell people why they even need AI, or what AI can even do for them, or why they should, trust a blockchain token and put money into it. Like, that stuff is not just naturally understood by people who don't eat, sleep, and breathe it all the time.
Yeah. That's why I'm doing this
So
show. Partly I'm trying to help business people get understand this stuff, but I also help normal everyday people, understand this world of AI. 'Cause I live in it, right? I'm on
right,
X.com. I have lists of everything in the AI space. And I'm doing these interviews. And I go to AI events in San Francisco a lot, right? And I grew
yeah,
up here, Siri was launched in my house, right? So I've been watching AI since the very beginning, right? So I, but
you popped up.
normal everyday people, my family and friends, they don't do that, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, I know. One of the when we first got the Game AI app live and in the app stores and everything, um, our like friends and family were like, "Oh, that's awesome! You have an app." They were impressed by the fact that we had an app in the app store.
Yeah,
But they weren't using the app. They would download it because I would ask them to, but then they just wouldn't do anything with it until I would physically go to them, open the app on their phone, show them the kind of fun stuff that it can do. Then they were hooked most of the time.
yeah.
But it's just that, like,
What kind of fun?
people
What kind of
don't
fun
know.
stuff do you show them? How do you convince somebody who's like totally not in AI, maybe even afraid of it or heard on, Fox or CNN, oh, this shit's gonna
Yeah,
take down humanity, which
yeah,
is
yeah,
actually a
yeah,
little possible, but it's a little bit overblown. But how do you get
yeah.
somebody excited about it? What's the first
There's
couple of demos that you do?
yeah, there's a couple that are my go-to. One of them for people that have kids, small kids especially. Their kids love the image-to-image AI generators. So we have a handful of them in the app. Like, we have a cartoonize yourself, so they'll take a picture of their kid, and the AI will turn it into a cartoon, and they think it's cool, but their kids really love it. Like, one of my best friends, he's like, "Yeah, we have to do this basically every night. My daughter comes and wants to turn herself into a cartoon." So that's an easy sell for people with kids. But I I also we have a AI tool in the app that's a virtual bartender, and so you can give it the ingredients that you have on hand or that you're going to get from the store or whatever,
I got some
and it will
vodka,
create.
I got some cranberry juice, I got some
Yeah,
Diet Coke, what can I make?
exactly. Yep. And so it will come back with a new recipe, and it will give it a cool name, and it will even give it like a little salesy blurb at the end of it. Because, like, my mom, she retired from Salesforce as well, but now she bartends at a local country club, um, kind of just for fun. But she is the manager of the bar, and she has to come up with drinks and stuff. So she's constantly using it, and she'll take that sales blurb, and that will be like what she puts on the chalkboard underneath the name. So that's a lot of fun too. And then we have some stuff that's just silly, like uh, generate a song about yourself based on the information you put into it.
Yeah.
And so I think that those, less businessy, more
Maybe you
entertainment
can
things
take
are
some
what.
disses against Kanye on X.com with your new song, right? Write some new lyrics.
Absolutely, yeah. We have a tool that is basically like a.
Or
We have one that's
Instagram or
called
TikTok
Burnbot.
is probably the better
Yeah,
place for that shit. But
yeah. We have a Burnbot tool where you put something that somebody says in, and it will, you know, create a response to them that's like attempting to make them look foolish, kind of thing. So yeah, I think that uh, those fun type of tools are what can get people interested. I don't necessarily think that those are the tools that make AI the superpower that it is or that it will be. But it's all about getting people to get their feet wet, and I think that those fun entertainment type of tools are the good option to get them there.
Yeah. People want to create new stories about themselves, right? They get tired of taking the same selfies of them and their friends. Hey, let's create some, weird ass shit to share on Instagram or right. I'm seeing
Yeah,
this with regular people that they're using these tools for, telling new stories about
yeah,
themselves. Really, you know,
for sure. Yeah,
add some new music, that you don't have to pay
yeah,
royalties for, and that's customized to the story, right? Hey, look at me at
yeah.
Coachella, right?
The creativity of AI is unbelievable, and that story is exactly like my fiance's father has a houseboat and a boat down in Florida and is really into sailing and all that stuff. And so when I was at the houseboat last summer, he and his friend were just sitting around the table and we're talking about somebody giving a toast or something. And so I was like, all right, hold on. So I pulled up the app and put in, our names, our information, what we were doing or whatever about the houseboat, and had it write a toast or like a little speech. And like, that's what got them. They were blown away by that. Like the fact that it could write something that was significantly better than anything that they could have written and do it in 30 seconds. And it was funny and it was just perfect. So, I'm constantly looking for those entry points or opportunities to kind of meld the story of why AI is cool to these specific people. And, you get them, once you get that hook in them, then they're hooked.
Yeah.
But it's all about, finding the ways to get people to understand why they should even, entertain the idea of using AI.
What's the resistance you hear from normal everyday people? Is it still the fear? Is it I don't want to give up my privacy? Do you hear any of that kind of stuff, or do people just not know what it can do, and once they see it, they're diving in?
I don't actually hear much about the privacy issue, surprisingly. I think I get a lot of I don't even know what AI is. I don't understand AI. Just the fear of not having any idea what it's for. Also, there's the huge resistance of people thinking that AI is going to take their jobs,
Yeah.
and so it's almost like a lot of those people are just like out of principle. I'm not going to use AI, kind of thing. And it's an easy.
That's
It
by the
should
way,
be
you should tell them that's the wrong approach because the people who use AI are going to be the last to get fired.
exactly. Yes,
All the
that's what I
CEOs
was
tell
getting ready
me
to
that.
say.
They tell me, "Oh, if I have to fire somebody today because we're cutting back, the last to get fired is the dude in the corner who's using AI to write all the marketing copy, or or using it to run the business or whatever, right?"
Yeah,
Or
you're so right,
I
and I,
used it
I
with my legal documents when I was setting up my business, right? I gave the lawyer's
yeah,
documents to the chat GPT and said, "Hey, tell me about these documents. What should I pay attention here? Is there anything in here that I should pay extra attention to? Is there anything wrong? Should I see a lawyer about this?" Right? And it laid it
yeah,
out. It was
exactly.
like, yeah, yeah, yeah. This looks all pretty standard. Oh, this one. Hey, you should look at that term there.
Exactly, exactly. And that's like if you would go to somebody who refused to use AI to do exactly what you're saying, but didn't approach it, as I want you to use this AI, and you just went to him and said, "Hey, how would you feel if I had a person who could come in here, read through these in 30 seconds, and tell you exactly what you need from it?" They'd be like, "Okay, yeah, sign me up." Uh, and that's exactly what AI can do for you.
Yeah.
It's just people's principles and their mindset of not wanting to do it or thinking they can't or whatever. That's what I'm saying. We have to show or explain to these people. And I think that part of it also, and same thing with blockchain, I think if you don't force even the words AI or artificial intelligence down their throats, they'd be more accepting of it. If they didn't even know that it was AI that was doing this for them, they probably wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
but you tell them that it's AI,
Yeah.
and they're either going to be afraid to use it or
Like,
just
I have a place where
leave.
you can check your legal docs and make sure your lawyer's not ripping you off and didn't miss something, you know? They don't
Yeah,
even
and
need to
that's
know it's AI, right? It's just, "Oh,
I know.
really? You have a system that can read your legal document? Oh, that's cool."
Yeah. I mean, think how many people have paid hundreds or thousands of dollars just to have somebody do exactly what you used AI to do. I mean, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Just because they're either unaware or refuse to
In Silicon
leverage
Valley,
this tool.
lawyers are charging $1,250 an hour. So if you save a lawyer an hour, that's $1,250 in your pocket. And I got a
I
service
know
that costs $20 a month that does that. That's pretty cool.
exactly. It's hard to understand sometimes
Yeah.
from our perspective why people would be resistant to it.
Yeah. I tell them it's, hey, I got a thing that can help you read the Bible.
Yeah, eh, that's one of we
I
actually
learned TV in a
literally in
church,
our
right? I
app.
met a lot of people like this. Do you know
Yeah,
you can have a little thing read the Bible with you, and it'll tell you all about the Bible. It'll tell you the history and what the verses mean. It'll translate things, right? It'll maybe even draw a
yeah,
picture for you if you don't understand it, right? It's like, whoa,
yeah. That's exactly right. And one of the sections in Game AI, our app, is AI character chat, and we took that from just characters to inanimate objects like books. So we have the Bible on there, so you can actually chat with the Bible, not just have it read
yeah.
itself to you, but like you can ask it questions, you can converse with it, and
Hey,
it
who's this Paul the
responds.
Baptist dude?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just crazy what you can do with
Then you can
AI,
start
and
talking to Paul the Baptist, right? Hey, Paul the Baptist,
yeah,
what would you think
yeah,
about this issue in America today?
yeah, yeah. And I mean, if I was still in school, I'd be using it all the time. Like I have to do a report on Benjamin Franklin. Okay, well, let me just go chat with him.
Yeah.
Which is what you can do in the app, and it's
Dude,
just so
why did
much
you put
fun.
a key on a kite in the rain, man?
Yeah.
That's crazy
Yes.
shit.
Yes.
Oh, wait a second. I
Yeah.
plugged a capacitor into the wall, so you know.
Yeah. But that's exactly right. Like, when before have you ever had the opportunity to talk with these people that have obviously been dead our whole lives? But
Yeah.
you can get information that you're not going to find in your textbook. You can have conversations and ask these characters why they did what they did, and
Do
just
you let
get
them know it
incredible.
sometimes it bullshit, so you can't just steal
Oh
what
yeah.
they
Yes.
say and put it in your essay. You gotta check it out a little bit because AI does have hallucinations, and it does
Yes,
make up
yes. When
facts out
Benjamin
of thin
Franklin tells you
air.
he drove his Tesla there.
It's sort of like a human. Humans make up facts out of thin air, right? The AI
Yeah,
does the
that's
same. It makes up facts out of thin air. You gotta check out the facts before you turn it in to the teacher, because otherwise the teacher's gonna know you used AI to write the paper.
yeah, but that's one of the ways that I attempt to explain AI to people is
Yeah.
that when you're talking about how to talk or prompt or whatever, you can think of it like a person. Like it knows stuff. It has intelligence. That's the part of the That's the intelligence part of artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
obviously. And that's a weird concept for most people because that hasn't really been a thing. So, that's another complicated part that you kind of have to explain to people. And another thing that we tried to abstract away in our app, we pre-trained on the back end. So, whatever you prompt is supplemented by our details to kind of try and make it a little better based on what you put in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all
You
these
doing
new
some prompt
concepts.
engineering for your day job? Is that what you're doing?
Dude, yeah, I definitely I understand the mega prompts that people are putting together and
Yeah.
everything, and I've built a couple of those like for GPT Flow had a prompting contest, but in my day to day use, I use it all the time, and I'm more of just quick hits. I use it a lot for my coding, and so if I have um, if I want to create a new component, I'll let GPT or Game or whichever tool I'm using at the moment uh, give me the base of it, kind of the general form of it, and then I'll start customizing it a little bit. But then when I get stuck on something, I'm just going to take the code and put it back into the tool and be like, this, I'm getting this error. Can you tell me what the problem is?
Yeah.
And a lot of times it will get it right, but it will at least get you looking in the right area to try and figure it out. Um, and so I do that all the time. However, I am not on the bandwagon yet of developers are no longer useful because AI can code
Oh,
everything.
you haven't found
Um,
Devin yet, or Microsoft Copilot yet,
yeah, no, I
it's pretty
definitely
cool.
have used Copilot,
You're right,
but I
though.
feel
I mean,
like
you need a creative person, like, you're a creative person, you're using these tools to come up with something new for people, right? And help them get into this new world, right? And get something out
yeah,
of it. Build a
yeah, and
new
I
user interface maybe, right?
for sure. But I think we're still in the time, not to say that we will be forever or even very long, but we're still in the time where, at least for bigger projects, you need you as yourself to be, the manager, the software architect, or whatever, um, because of context windows and everything.
Oh, you're using a
Your tools.
dirty word there. What's context window? If we're gonna talk to normal people, what's that?
Yeah, I mean, as
What
far as
do you
like,
mean you put
if
a
you have,
million tokens into a Google Gemini? What does that mean? You got to
yeah,
translate.
yeah,
You could take 3 Harry Potter books and put it in the window, and it can read them all at one time, and then you can talk to all 3 together.
yeah,
Isn't that
yes,
crazy?
yeah. It's so crazy, so cool, and
Yeah.
the rate of improvements and options are just going up and up and up. And like when I first started doing this, the it's very small context window. It could only understand basically your conversation that you're having with it. And now with assistants and custom GPTs and all these things, like you're saying, you could feed in tons of PDFs and documents, and
Yeah.
those capabilities keep going up and up. And we're talking about over the course of a year and a half, which just blows my mind to think of what it's going to be like in 2 years. It's basically just going to have probably access to
In 2
whatever
years, I'm
files
gonna
you
have a
give it.
humanoid robot in my house walking around. "Hey, humanoid robot, go and get me a Diet Coke, please." Right?
I know, and think about the combination of all these technologies. You got the glasses and
Yeah,
a robot and AI powering everything around you, and it's going to be a completely different world. And I think that
yeah.
with AI, it's kind of like feeds upon itself that it's just going to make the the process to get to that endpoint just faster and faster. And the improvements on everything technology wise are just going to increase. And
Are you
you've
playing
got,
with AI agents yet? Take it away from the normal people for a second, here in San Francisco, everybody's talking about AI. "Oh, I got a bunch of AI agents, doing research, doing this, analyzing this, right? And then bringing back the answers and doing all sorts of stuff," right? Are you setting up any of those or playing with that, and trying to simplify it for normal everyday people who don't know what an AI agent is and don't care, right? They just want to click a button and have something done.
right. Yeah, that
Give
is
me the
that is
news.
100%. It's 100% on the roadmap. My personal experience, I tried to get into, I can't even remember what it was called, but it's been many months ago. Um,
Yeah.
One of them it was one of the first agents that was being talked about, and it was still, you had to go onto GitHub and clone the repo into, and run it locally. It wasn't end user ready
Yeah.
by any means. And it was in Python, I think, which is, I prefer Node and React and JavaScript and all that stuff. So I never really got it to work very well, and that kind of, if I would have succeeded in getting that to do the things that I wanted to, I'm sure that would have
You
been
got to go
another
back
session.
because every week it's improving. That's the thing about
Yeah,
AI. If you can't figure something out one week, wait a week, and all of a sudden another model comes out that does it better, right?
I
Or
know, and
somebody else figures out a whole AI agent framework, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, that's cool, right?
I know. I feel like that's kind of a blessing and a curse. It's as at least as a an app developer, for the end user. That's fantastic that there's constantly new capabilities and everything. as an app developer, it's like, well, now there's another thing that I need to work on to add to the app. There's, each time something new comes along that is interesting or useful or cool,
Yeah.
I like to get it into the app, and it's hard to keep up when
Yeah.
the improvements are just so fast and so often. But it's super cool. It's like this is for a tech geek. This is like the coolest era since probably the internet.
I
So by no means do I
might be
want it to
even
slow down.
cooler, I mean,
Yeah,
every era is cool, right? Because you get new thing, and it's like, "Oh, man, I can do something new," It's, like, fun. But this era, man, it's like, wow, I mean, I have 4,500 companies on my list on X.com, all AI companies, and they do everything from, helping you with legal docs to, letting you generate videos. I mean, it's like, whoa, there's a lot. It's a
I
lot.
know,
It's impossible to keep up with. You need a bunch of AI agents to go through my list and tell you give me 3 things to try today. It's like
I know. Yeah, that's a great idea. I think that it's super cool to think about, and I think that this is
I'm
on the
building
way
it.
for
I'm
sure.
building that, or somebody else is sort of helping me build it. He's
That's awesome.
using a open interpreter to go through my list and try to keep up because I can't keep up either. I mean, it's like right now I'm talking to you. If I showed you my screen on X.com, there's new things every second. Every second there's like boom,
Oh
boom, boom,
yeah,
boom, boom, boom. It's like, wow,
I believe it.
it's hard to keep up, and I'm not keeping up because I'm talking to you, right? So I'm falling behind. I need some
That's
agents to
like,
keep me up. So when I get off this thing, my agent should be like, "Hey, here's 5 things that just happened while you were talking."
yeah, and I think it's only going to increase. I don't think it's going to slow down
Mm.
because of AI itself. It's like
Yeah.
AI gives, like, our whole company is a two-person team. Me and Zach. I've built every asset, every app, every version of the app with the help of AI, and like, we can put an app together in a week or two, just the two of us. Where, I worked in the corporate world. It would have taken 6 months, to get through all of the bureaucracy and all the teams you
Maybe
had
more.
to work with. Yeah.
Maybe
And
never.
that's just,
Maybe it's so hard to have all those meetings, you just give up. I had seen that a lot.
yeah,
I worked at Microsoft. I saw the same thing, right?
yeah,
It's like,
for sure.
oh, we could compete with Dig. Oh, really? Go try to compete with Dig, back in the day.
Yeah,
People would brag, "Oh,
yeah,
I could compete with Dig in a week." Really? And go ahead. Try to convince the lawyers to let you ship.
yeah, yeah,
Try to
yeah.
convince Bill Gates to give you $100,000 to buy a server or two. Yeah, go ahead. Let's see. I tried to talk him out of $1 billion, but if you're gonna meet with Bill and try to make some shit happen, aim for the fence. Don't go for a little server. Go for the whole. I asked him to buy Web 2.0, the whole fucking thing. He turned me
That's
down.
so
He,
cool.
he, he sent me a note. Yeah, Steven Sinofsky, who worked
That's
with
so
him,
cool.
sent me a big long note. You don't have enough business value.
That's amazing
Yeah,
though. That's
I mean,
such a
that
cool
note
story.
cost Microsoft Corporation just with one. I told him to buy Skype before eBay bought it, right? And it would have been $2 billion. $2 billion to buy Skype, and Microsoft ended up paying 8.
Yeah,
Cost
they
them
should have
six
listened to
billion
you.
dollars not to listen to me. But yeah, Bill Gates is still a billionaire, and all I got is a fun story to tell you.
You don't think he's staying up at night thinking, I should have listened to Robert?
He should have. I told him to buy Automatic before Automatic took over the web. Automatic today, 75% of the web is running on WordPress. He could have owned WordPress, man. He didn't listen to
Wow.
me. He could have had 75% of the web in his pocket. No, he decided I didn't have business value.
That would be hard. Those are some hard things that at least not, obviously I've never been in that position, but it feels like you would stay up at night thinking, man, I should have listened. That was a bad decision. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe, I mean,
Yeah,
obviously
maybe
he's successful.
I'm sure if you asked him about it, yeah, I should have bought Automatic.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. almost have to say that, right?
Everybody has their misses in their head, right? You know, I shouldn't have sold
For sure.
Apple at 25 cents. That was stupid.
Yeah, I love that that tweet that still surfaces all the time of the guy saying, I wish I would have sold Bitcoin at 8 cents or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, you just never know, man.
I,
You just never
I've
know,
talked to many
especially when
venture
new.
capitalists. They all have their list of misses, you know, because they what you know, oh God, um, they see 2,000 companies a year, you know, sometimes more, and they fund 7 companies. So they say no to everything basically. And, you know, you're going to say no to some good shit. And, you know, you're
Yeah,
going to learn. I mean, Starbucks heard no 200 times. 200 people turned down Starbucks. Could have been the investor in Starbucks. 200 people did. And then one guy said yes, finally. Right. But, you know, how 200 people have oh shit, I said no to Starbucks in their head, you know?
yeah, that would be really tough to swallow if you didn't find success otherwise. Like, if
They
this was
probably
your
invested in Google and
opportunity.
were just doing fine. You know? You know?
Yeah,
You
probably
only
most
need
of
a
those people.
only need one hit in life as a venture capitalist, and you're doing fine, you know. But yeah,
No,
everybody has their misses. You know, it's part of life. You miss things.
yeah, for sure. And
I've missed so many
so many
things. I
opportunities.
was on Reid Hoffman's plane before he started LinkedIn. The other guy on the plane put 100 grand into LinkedIn and pulled $30 million out. Right? You know, so yeah,
Wow.
you know. If you ever invent a time machine, let me know. I got a few things to go back and redo in time. You know.
Yeah, have you ever seen the movie Hot Tub Time Machine?
No, I haven't. Was that?
Well, they obviously find a time machine, and at the end of the movie, they go back to one guy doesn't. He stays in the past,
Yeah.
and so when the future people catch up with this guy, he's lived through the past, and his name is Lou, and so the search engine of the world is Lugal because he went back and knew that he needed to invest in Google, and so I thought that was pretty humorous.
Yeah, if we had a time machine, the world would get really fucked up because people would go fix their mistakes. You know?
I know. I yeah, that's a whole.
Or
I
take
never even thought
advantage, you
about the
know,
fact
of things that they
if
know about
everybody,
now. You know,
yeah, everybody all at once gets to go
like
back in
I was
time.
standing next to the second ATM, Bitcoin ATM in Toronto, Canada. Nobody showed up to pull money out of that thing, you know. And if we had a time machine, there'd be a line out the door.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Me
oh,
included,
it's
I would
almost
have
painful
emptied
to
the
think.
machine before anybody showed up because if I had one, you know, if I had some
Yeah, for sure.
smarts, no. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's how we learn, right?
Yeah. So what is it about AI that we're missing today? You know, what's the big opportunity right in front of us that we're like gonna miss? You know?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Now you got me deep thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. Venture capitalists ask me that every morning. Like, hey, what you got anything for me this morning? I'm like, I don't know. I got 4,500 companies. I don't know which one to tell you about, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. There's so many, so fast, so many changes so quickly. It's hard
Yeah.
to.
I got to
Obviously, I
build
can't.
agents. So, hey, can you go through my 4,500 companies and look for companies that are getting a little adoption that they didn't have yesterday or just announced a new product that nobody really is paying attention to that might be interesting, you know, stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
That's what we got to do to
yeah,
find new things, right? The
for sure,
billionaires have
for
people
sure.
like this, right? I mean, they have people for that. You know, hey,
Right.
go fly
Yeah, they
around
have
the world
humans.
and go visit these little startups and find me some investments to make. You know,
Yeah, for sure. And I try to imagine because in a year or two that's going to be happening right and left,
oh,
and
it's
and
happening
these
right
these
now.
features are just going to be built into the tools and apps that everybody uses,
Yeah.
whether you even realize that it's AI doing it or not. So that's like another level of, okay, well, when AI is just already integrated into everything, what are you going to do that's new then? What? How do you keep innovating on a technology that is already integrated into everything that we use? So
Yeah.
I think that the window of these cycles is dramatically shortened now, and probably for the rest of history, thanks to AI. So it's, it's not going to be like, all right, we're going to sit with this technology for 15 years before we do the
You're
next big
seeing it
thing.
in the stock market, right? When Apple announces new results, instantly the market reacts. Oh, how did it react so fast? Humans can't read the PDF that fast. A computer read it, saw, oh, earnings were better than expected or whatever, or they gave out a new dividend that nobody was thinking about. Oh, let's buy, right? And the AI is buying, and humans aren't even involved. And it happens so fucking fast that you just, as a retail investor, if you don't have a system like that, you're fucked. That's why I don't play short term games, because I don't have an AI that does that. Right, the
Yeah.
pros do. My friend built one for himself. He's making millions of dollars with his AI.
See, now this is an issue I have. Like, you'll throw an idea out like that out to me, and I'll immediately be like, oh, I got to build it. I got to build it. And I have to keep myself in check, to focus on the things that I need to be focusing on,
Yeah,
because I love building things. And, over the course of all my tech, I've gotten pretty good at building things. So I don't ever have that thought of, oh, that's too complicated, I can't build that. I always have the thought of, oh yeah, I could definitely build that.
oh, could
So
you
it's
build
just
an
a matter
autonomous
of,
car? Go to town against Tesla and Waymo. Right? Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if I have that much confidence in myself to take on Tesla. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's fun to build, and it's, you know, with the capabilities of the tools that can help you build things and build them quick, it's hard to, at least for me, to keep myself focused on, the handful of projects that are critical to our business, and not go, build something just on a whim because somebody said something. And I'm like, that's cool. Yeah, let's go do that.
Yeah.
Um, but I would like to get to the point where that's all I had to do was just build fun stuff.
Yeah. That's good.
That would be fun.
So that's what you're trying to do with game, is try to make something fun for people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's very fun once you get people to understand not only the fun things, but just the power that's available.
Yeah.
Like going back to you talking about the
To
Apple.
normal people,
Um,
you push a button and an image shows up. That's magic, right? It's like,
yeah,
wow,
especially
that's magic, man.
turning your kids into a cartoon. Like, how are you? How you have never been able to do that in your life? You've never known how to turn your kid into a cartoon, and now you can do it in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
It's just cool stuff.
Yeah.
And the educational potential of AI is
Oh yeah.
insane too, because,
I have a
like
list.
you said,
I have a list of education apps, also, right? There's a whole bunch of
yeah,
people like you who are working on that, helping teachers, grade
mhm,
papers or make lesson
yeah,
plans. Plus, the students
exactly.
do research and learn things. It's yeah.
It's fantastic, and the people that
Salman Khan
embrace it
has a new
are,
book on it, right? He has a TED
yeah,
video.
yeah, yeah. The people that embrace it are the ones that are going to thrive, and
Yeah,
the people that fight it, like, there's not a whole group of teachers that are still doing their job that have refused to let calculators in the classroom. I mean, it's not like you're going to be able to outlast AI. It's silly, and I think stubbornness at this point in time.
yeah,
You're hurting yourself if you don't at least start to learn what AI is, and how to use it.
yeah,
Because somebody's going to come up behind you that loves AI and do your job in an hour that it takes you a week to do.
yeah.
And I mean, who's going to keep that person on that takes a
Plus,
week?
if you're a teacher and not using it, how do you know your kids aren't using it to turn in their papers? If you use it, you know the pattern, I guess, because and the
Yeah,
bullshit it gives, right? Because once in a while, stick some
right.
bullshit into the answer, and you have to. If you are a teacher, and you ask the question that the kids are going to ask, right? Because they have an essay to do on Ben Franklin. You'll see the bullshit. And you'll see the student turn in the bullshit. And you're like, oh, you used AI to do your paper, and you didn't check the facts. You're going to get a D on that one, or an F.
Exactly. And if you're familiar with AI, you can help them to properly use AI.
Yeah,
Like, you're not going to be able to keep it out of the classroom.
No,
So the next best
it's a
option is to
very powerful learning my favorite prompt, and we should talk about prompts since you're a guy who studies normal people. My favorite prompt is, "Please show me all points of view on X, on a topic, on Ben Franklin, on electricity, on whatever you're studying," right? And it does.
Mhm.
It shows you everything, right? And then you can dig in and start I learn a lot by doing that, right? And
Me too. Those are the kind of things that people just don't. It doesn't even come to their mind yet.
no, because they
And
don't know
I
they think it's Google, right? I know
yeah,
I've gotten a few people on AI and they treat it like Google, like electricity. No, 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 talk to it, have a conversation with it. It'll hold its own. Come on.
absolutely. Yeah, I one of my
And also
friends
you
who's an
can do
attorney.
multi-step prompt. If you get somebody to multi-step prompts, right? Because show me all points of view on X, and it does. Oh, make a persona for each point of view. It gives you names for each point of view, right? Like Ben Franklin is a key guy in electricity or whatever. Then,
Yeah,
hey, join them together into a panel discussion or a debate club or a
exactly.
right or a South by Southwest panel. Have a South by Southwest panel between all these names, right? And then talk to the group and then you get a really weird answer, right? It's like, whoa, the group's talking to you about electricity. It's like, whoa, that's cool, right? If you get somebody to that,
Yeah,
then they're in. They're advanced.
yes, that exactly. And that's actually one of the tools in our app is called Academic Illuminati.
Yeah,
And what it does is you put in your question, your topic, or whatever, and it first identifies 10 potential experts on the subject. Then from there,
bingo.
it filters it to the four best. Then it gives an answer from each of those four. And then it has like a moderator combine, the thoughts of all four and give an overall perspective. But it's exactly what you're saying. Like that's kind of next level um, prompting. And it's so powerful. Like to get multiple perspectives and you can get them from any perspective that you want or all of the
Yeah,
perspectives. It's just stuff that has not been available, or at least not available to somebody that didn't have a market research team to go out and do studies every single day with
oh,
1,000 people. It's just incredible the power
yeah. I
that
mean,
is at everybody.
if you're going in a restaurant, I force myself to use AI to learn how it thinks and what it knows and what it doesn't know, and what it's good for, what it's not good for. And I go into a restaurant and start talking to Chat GPT. Hey, what should I eat at this restaurant? Right? It's a lot better if you have a committee, like a food critic person on your committee and a chef on your committee, and you know,
Yeah,
right?
and throw a persona in that's
All of a
you.
sudden you're having a talk with the committee. Hey, what should I eat at this restaurant? I'm going to Terry Black's in Austin now. What should I try here? Oh, the brisket, it's pretty good. But if you want good brisket, you got to go to Franklin's. But the ribs at Terry Black's are really fucking amazing. And it talks to you like this. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, and you throw in a persona that's like your dietitian. That the first one's like, oh, you got to get this brisket and the chocolate cake's amazing, and then the other your dietitian persona pops in. It's like, hey, no, 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 that's too many calories. You got to watch what you're
Yeah,
doing,
yeah, yeah.
like
You
kind of
you
thing.
might choose something off the vegan menu.
Yeah, I saw you in that shirt the other day. You probably shouldn't have that
You should
cake.
yeah, yeah, oh, stay away from the banana cr the cream corn, it has a lot of fat in it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, these are the fun things that
Ah,
we just need people to understand that it's possible and how to do it. And
yeah.
because it's not hard once you know how to do it. It's not hard.
No,
It's just getting people there,
and
man.
it's getting
But there's just
faster and it's getting more accurate, right? And it's getting
yeah,
better. Soon it's just gonna give you a picture. By the way, are you doing anything with the camera yet? Are you putting doing anything with multimodal models?
yeah. We have
Because Chat GPT now you aim it at anything and it tells you about it, right? The can if you know how to do it. It's fucking
yeah. So we have
insane.
yeah we have what we call AI site where you can at this point in time you can take a picture or upload an image or whatever, and it uses Chat GPT's back end to understand the image.
Yeah.
Which I like to do when I'm creating a new component or site or whatever. I like to sketch out the layout on a piece of
Oh,
paper,
yeah.
take a picture of it, have it give
There's
me
a
the
guy who
code
created
for
a
it. And it,
company doing that. You just draw your user interface
yeah,
and it builds it for you. It's like, whoa.
no, I know. That's what I'm
Like I
saying.
did a
Like
little
these,
form with like an address bar and and a name and a phone number and a button to say submit, and you just draw that on a
yep,
napkin, you take a picture of it, it builds it for you. It's like, what?
I know.
It's crazy.
I know, and I like to use it for almost like a super note taker too. So like if
Yeah.
I'm somewhere and I see like a chart or an image or a graphic or a poster or something that I want to remember, I'll take a picture of it. So not only do I have the picture, but then I'll have ChatGPT give me details about it and give me the important parts of it. And so not only do I have the notes saved, it's kind of done the work for me
Yeah.
just because I took a picture of it and it can understand it.
I have an AI listening to you right now. It's called Limitless. It used to be called Rewind. And it's writing a transcript as you're talking. Your words are showing up on the screen, right? And then after this call's over, it makes a summary and sends me some notes of the meeting. Oh, you talked about this and talked about this, right? And then I can
Yep.
search for it in a week. Like, what the hell was I talking to Brady about?
No, it's those second level things that
It helps
are
me write my
the
blog
super
post because I
powerful.
copy the note, like when I
Yeah,
post this
absolutely.
video and I'll just put the summary there. It's writing it right while we're talking. It's crazy.
I know. And again, that's one of those things where like, why would anybody not want that assistance?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where like if you said, how many people have an assistant doing that, a human assistant doing that?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it on these calls that are not
If you're in a
using an AI
court,
tool.
there's a person doing that, that's
Yeah,
highly paid that's running a machine to do that. But now the AI is listening. It's just like,
yeah, yeah. There's
what a
just so many
world.
opportunities. People understand it and accept it,
Yeah.
and hopefully it won't be a hugely difficult battle to convert people. It's for
Humans eventually get the utility, right? It takes some time to see it, and try it and get over their fears. And there's a lot of fears about this shit. Like you said, oh shit,
yeah,
this stole the court reporter's job,
I know,
right?
I know, yeah,
But now I can do something new, right? And make a new kind of media,
yeah.
right? Eventually, I want to
Even
be in a Vision Pro. You can watch the note. Soon, we're going to be doing this in 3D and having the thing writing
absolutely,
the notes and summarizing what we're saying and pulling out key facts. In fact, one little trick is you could. This will be up on YouTube. You can shove the whole YouTube video into an AI and it'll summarize it for you and tell you,
yeah,
oh, these two yokels didn't really say anything. or, or
not worth
or
your
maybe you
time.
said something really important like 40 minutes into the interview. You don't need to listen to the whole
Yeah,
thing. Just go to minute 40 and here's the notes. And cut
I
it out
know.
and put it
It's
on Instagram.
yeah, it's just unbelievable the amount of time and effort it can save, and
Yeah,
it allows people to. There will be a 1 or 2 person $1 billion company soon, because they
a bunch
have
of them
figured out
will
how
say,
to
I
leverage.
think.
Yeah, every job role can be filled by AI, and eventually that's what it will be, and it will be very very strange to see some aspects of it, like
This this is why I was
I don't know,
asking about the camera
big
because
company.
I took a picture of my wife's Iranian soup. She's Iranian, right? And
Hmm.
it said, "Oh, that's Osh soup." It gave me the Iranian name of it. It told me how to say the name. It told me what was in the soup. It told me the cultural relevance of the soup. It told me how to make the soup just from a
Yeah,
single photo, right? And
yeah,
so,
and
you know, it's crazy.
how long till your glasses are doing that so that information's automatically
Yeah,
in your vision
that's why
as
the
soon as you
new
look at it?
Siri is so important. Hey Siri, can you help me make pass this recipe over to Brady so he can make the soup?
Yeah,
See how
yeah,
stupid Siri is? It's like it's trying to get involved, but it's like not it's not smart, because it doesn't have a large language model underneath there. It's old
yeah.
AI, right? And hey, in a
But
month we're gonna see a new Siri, and then the world's gonna change again. And before that, we're gonna get a new Google. Google Gemini's coming along, right? And Meta has new shit coming out. Oh, and Microsoft has a big conference in the next couple of weeks. They're coming out with a big new model with OpenAI, right? So the world is about to
Yeah,
change again. It's like, how do you keep up,
I know.
man?
Exactly. Yeah, I like the next
Gotta have
time we
your
chat,
agents
it'll
go to
be
all the conferences.
talking about.
Hey, agents, go to all those conferences and tell me what's the key thing that they were all showing.
I know. Yeah, as soon as we got past COVID and everything's back in person again, it's going to go back to virtual so that AIs can ingest everything that's happening.
Yeah. And if not, you'll pay some dude in the front row to hold up his iPhone and record it on his iPhone so you can get the key facts.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I really am excited to see what it's like in a year, what it's like in 5 years. I just think that we're going to look back at this time and be like, "Wow, that was the beginning of some crazy stuff."
Yeah. What's next for in game and your app? And what are you gonna
Yeah, I,
what are you gonna be listening to at WWDC? In a month. Are you gonna build the new Siri into it or?
yeah. There's just so many possibilities, and like I said earlier, I am very interested in things, and that takes me on a path. But as of now, I think we're going to continue trying to build some unique blockchain type apps to further cement our hand in the blockchain world. And I just think that blockchain is inevitable. I think that there's qualities of it that just are needed, but it's got to get itself under control. All these scams and all these things are really slowing down the acceptance and adoption, and rightfully so. Like I myself am like very hesitant to invest in any of it just because
Yeah.
so many of them are scams. But I think that
My
it's
my partner ran the biggest block Bitcoin conference in Texas. Um, And he's same. He's like, it's all scams, he says. He says, other than Bitcoin, stay away from all of them because they're just like a lot of scams, right? But
I,
there is something there that even with the scams, you start looking at it differently. And it's like, oh, wait. You can sell virtual shit on a metaverse with a blockchain, with a token, right? Now, oh, wait a second. That's a new business model for all the shit we're trying to build, right?
yeah, yeah, and I mean even NFTs and all of these things, they're like we're at the entry level of what they're being used for. NFTs right now basically are just images,
Yeah.
and that's hard to see the value in for a lot of people.
No.
But the capabilities of them,
No, but if I
once
was
they start
selling you
being,
virtual costumes on a virtual metaverse, right? In
yeah,
my little costume shack that you came and visited, right? Am I selling that with a Visa card or a token, right? And
yeah,
one of the guys who I'm studying this world, and he's like, there's a lot of currencies around the world, right? There's not just the American dollar. You got your Japanese yen, you got your what, right? German marks or euros, and you don't want to build the code to handle all that,
right,
right? As a developer, just take a token,
yeah,
right? So,
yeah,
so there is something there. It's just you got to dig through all the scammy
exactly,
speculation, like, oh, buy my token today, and you'll make some money, kind of thing. No, there's a business model that's possible. It's just getting there. It's really hard because most people aren't yet quite there where they're buying virtual shit on a metaverse yet, right?
yeah, I agree. Yep,
Yeah,
it's got to
it's coming.
this stop. Yeah,
This is why you're going to buy Zuckerberg's glasses or Tim Cook's glasses, because you're going to be in a virtual metaverse soon, playing with your friends.
yeah,
Like,
I can't wait.
you want to go and buy some new costumes for the party on Friday night. You got to go to
Yes,
Brady's shack out on the metaverse and hand over some
yeah,
tokens.
yeah. I think that's so fun, and I would love that.
Yeah.
I would be there all the time.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
it's coming, and it's
Yeah, I agree.
I call it Metaverse 2.0. It's photorealistic. It's AI driven, right? So all the
Hmm.
work you're doing is going to fit right into it because you get people used to talking to AI in some way to get all sorts of
Yeah,
stuff done. Well, that's how everything's going to work. Your classroom's going to work that way. Eventually, your kitchen's going to work that way. Your
I agree.
Your
I agree.
business is
It's
gonna
AI
work
is going to
that
be in everything.
way, right? Your little
Yep.
costume shack on the metaverse is gonna work that way, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Gun store, we're gonna certainly have some gun stores in the metaverse. Oh, you want a new virtual gun to blow up your friends? You know this, right? Call of Duty's a big fucking
Oh yeah.
business, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's
Sure.
all coming to the metaverse soon, and
Yeah.
the future's gonna let you walk around the street shooting your friends,
I know. And those
virtually, please, not with real, no lead, voxels. You shoot them with
yeah.
voxels, volumetric pixels. You can make shit happen.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the kind of thing that has to happen. That's a much easier transition to be like, okay, you guys that have been playing this game for years and years, this is essentially the same thing as this metaverse, and your skins that you bought are essentially the same things as these NFTs and all these things. I think that's where, when you can make those connections to what people already understand and like and know, that's where you can start to like making some mass understanding.
Yeah.
You can say, this is basically just this. You shouldn't be afraid of this because you've been doing it this whole time. You just didn't
If
realize.
you get accepted to Y Combinator, that's what they do. They teach you how to do that, right? Hey, instead of calling yourself the neural radiance field thing, say you're
Yeah,
the Photoshop of the 3D world. Right?
exactly.
Tie it back to
Exactly.
something people know.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's the way to
Well,
go, in my opinion.
it's been fun talking to you. I could talk to you all day long because you're
Same.
an interesting dude.
Same.
trying to get this
This is,
stuff I care about to normal everyday people. And
I tremendously appreciate it. I have been a fan of yours since, I'm definitely old enough to, when you were with Microsoft and all that, I was highly aware of you, and it's just, I am very appreciative of you taking the time to talk with me. It's been
yeah,
fantastic.
thanks. Where do I learn more about you?
You can find me on LinkedIn, Brady Lewis, or you can visit our website, gamegaim.ai. We're on Twitter. We're everywhere out there. You can find us everywhere. We also
What's
have,
what's
we wrote
Twitter?
a
Wait,
best-selling
wait.
book on
Elon Musk
Amazon.
said yelled in my ear. What's Twitter?
Yeah, I got to get that vernacular changed. Yeah.
I hate
We also wrote a
the
book.
naming police. What's Twitter? You got to call it X.com.
Yeah. We have a book on Amazon called AI for Newbies. It hit number one in 6 or 7 different categories. So that's out there, and that follows along with our game app as well. So you can get some information there. But yeah, we're out and about and always looking to chat. So
That's smart.
we're
Yeah.
we're around.
Although the newbies, do they read books? I write books. I'm impressed. Do you think people actually read books anymore?
Well, I had a
The
friend,
AIs
a
read the
wife.
books. Give it to your
Yeah,
AI. Hey, give Scoble's book to your AI, or give Brady's book to your AI.
yeah.
It'll tell you all about it.
I I think that books are still something right now anyway. But I think eventually you're just going to be able to chat with whatever book you want, and we'll see. I don't know. Who knows
It's a
what it's
way
going to
to
be like?
teach your AI something new. Hey, AI,
Yep.
you need to get a little smarter. Here's a book.
Yeah, yeah. Forget teaching yourself things. You're just going to teach your AI
Hey, you gotta
agents
have
things.
your agents need to get a little smarter, man. Give
Yeah.
them,
Why do I need to know anything? My AI agents know everything.
yeah, exactly. That way I can sit on the couch and drink beer or whatever the fuck I do.
Yeah, yeah. Put those goggles on and watch a basketball game or something.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah,
Have
it'll
your
be fun.
AI agent read the next Harry Potter book or whatever.
Just give me the cliff notes. That's all I need.
Yeah, you just tell me the thing. Maybe it gets people interested in reading a book, right? Because
Maybe
maybe the AI, like the AI is writing this transcript of this call, maybe it makes it sound so exciting that they actually watch the video.
you're right. There you go. And that's a automatic marketing promotion for their book.
There
So,
we go.
start writing your book with the intention of AI summarizing it, I suppose.
Yeah. I actually am reading more books because of AI, because you can talk to your AI about the book.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many positives about AI.
Maybe you only have to read a
People,
chapter of it, right? It tells you, "Hey, chapter 3 is really good." You know?
first two chapters are a little slow. You really want to start at chapter three.
Just read chapter 3. It's all the good shit's in chapter 3. The rest of the book's bullshit, but
Yeah,
the chapter 3 is good.
yeah. I mean, people are going to have to start being cognizant of that because that's going to happen.
I'm doing these videos for that reason. I don't care that I'm doing long ass, boring ass videos because you stick it in your AI, it'll tell you, "Oh, listen to minute 59. That was some knowledge laid down." You know,
Absolutely, absolutely. Efficiency.
it's the way it is. The new world.
Yep.
Well, thanks for helping
It's
people
going to be
get
rough.
into the new world.
Same, right back at you. You're have a much bigger platform than I am, and you're doing a great thing. So
I'm trying.
I appreciate it.
I got a few hundred people listening.
Keep up the great work.
Thanks.